Alright, so now here's the springboard lesson from earlier today. We have on number 1, it says construct and name an isosceles triangle with lengths of with legs of length EF and base of AB. So they give you plenty of room on here to do all your constructions. And I'm just going to do the first one off the side here. So they want the base to be AB. So we're going to need that length. So we need a starting point. So let's use A. You could either draw a line first or you can mark it first. Either way is fine. But that'll be A. Alright. And then, and you don't even really have to name that segment. So now we can swing an arc from that over here. So that's the length of AB. If you mark it first before drawing the line segment, that means you just don't have to draw your line as far. So that's the length of AB right now. That's a copy of AB. Well, then they want our legs to be the length of EF. So go down to EF, open your compass, get the length of EF, and you could choose to either swing your compass up top from A and B, and you can make your, I feel like that's, or you could have swung it down low. Either way, you could have swung it down here as well, and that'd be fine. But now, draw oops. These two are congruent, and that's that. Yep, and I'll do the same thing with the other one. So if I use my bullseye compass, again, if you chose to, you could just draw AB first. Now that I saw how tall that was, I'm going to go down just a little bit further. So I could do my line first if I wanted to, and then mark it off on that line. That'd be fine too. So we have AB, I'm copying, right? So copy it down over here. That's the length I'm using. And then from each of those, so from these two endpoints now, that's where I'm going to be going with E and F. So go down, get the length of EF. Got EF. I'm going to take that, swing an arc above from the first endpoint, and same thing from the second endpoint where they intersect. That's going to be my triangle. So if I wanted to call this steps, that was 1, figuring out the length of that. 2 was swinging those arcs, and 3 was doing the sides. Okay, on to the next. On number 2, it says construct and name a square with sides lengths of CD. Now, this one's actually fairly easy. It's a little more complicated, but it's not very hard. So I'm going to start off with making a line longer than I need to, and that's much longer than I need to. So there's my first vertex of the square. I'm going to go to CD. All my lengths are going to be this length, and I am not going to have to change my protractor, my compass much at all. I have that length CD. First thing I'm going to do is mark off that length CD. Now, I already know that that point will be another one of our endpoints for our square. I can also, if I want to at this time, I could go ahead and swing it up here and up here, or I could wait till later. But the other thing I have to do is I have to construct one of my sides perpendicular. So now I haven't changed my setting. I'm still on the same setting. I'm going to swing another arc on this side. I'm using the same length because normally if I was doing a perpendicular line from a point, I would have to swing it to both sides. Don't really have to do this one since I already know that that's that same length. So now this is equal distance to these 2 points. In order to make a perpendicular line, I'll extend my compass a little bit more than halfway. So again, it has to be just more than what I just had it on, so it's more than that. swing an arc from this point, swing an arc from this point. So now, if I draw a line from here up, it should be perpendicular. Now, the rest of this is just making sure that my segments are the same length. So again, get CD on there. If you didn't draw the other arcs earlier, from each one of these endpoints, swing an arc above. So from there, and from there. And then now that this would be another point, I can go from there and swing one over here. And that'll be my last point. So now connect the final two. And you have yourself a square. Now, same thing with the bullseye compass. So, start off. I have my point. So again, this is for number 2. So my first step was draw the line. And I want to go ahead and get this length on that line. So, mark it off. So I got that. Now that I did that piece, I'm going to make the perpendicular part by going ahead and drawing that segment one more time. And I'm going to go to each one of these. And again, I got to go more than halfway. Swing an arc above on each of those lines. So now that should make a perpendicular line. And then once you have that perpendicular line, so that was probably step 2. These were actually probably step 3. And then this was step 4. Once you have that, you can go back to your CD. That measure back on your compass. And from each of these endpoints, swing the arc up top. So you'd have to do these two first. So that'd be 5, 5. And then from where those are intersecting, that same measurement that you had going on, swing another arc. So that'd be step 6. And finally connect your that's it. Alright, moving on. So now, on number 3, it says construct and name a triangle with sides of lengths A, B, C, D, and E, F. So it wants all 3 different sides, which just means that you're going to have to get 3 different measurements on your compass. So it doesn't matter which one you start with. Start with a point. Let's move this up a little bit. I'm going to do it underneath these. So 3 is going to go down here. Doesn't matter what order you do this in. Now, they can look different and still be congruent. So there's AB. I'm going to start with a point down here. And then it doesn't matter what it looks like. Draw that first line. It can go anywhere to that. So that'll be the length of AB. Now, I need CD next. Again, it doesn't really matter which one you do. It doesn't say how to connect them. So I have CD. Go from either point. Now, I'm not sure exactly where these are going to intersect, so I'm going to do a pretty big arc. Alright. So I have no clue where they're going to intersect. And finally, EF. And go from the opposite endpoint then. And swing an arc so that it intersects the first one you just did. So there we go. There's the point of intersection. And then finally, use your straight edge to connect them. That point out there. So this would be the length of CD. and this one would be the length of EF. Now, your triangle is going to look like that. It might not go the same direction. In fact, I'll do a completely different direction for the next one. Now that I know what the triangle looks like, on the next one I'm going to make it so it looks more like this, so it's taking up a little less room on my other paper. So, and it doesn't hurt to start off with your longest piece horizontally. That way it probably will take up less room. So with this compass, I'm going to go and start with EF this time. So I got that on my compass. I'm going to do my point. I'm going to go ahead and swing EF. Again, going out there. That's the length of EF. Now, once you have that length, you can go on to the next step, which is, again, either one of these doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do CD next. I'll use pink on this one since I already had that marked with pink. Go from here. I'm going to do an arc there, like CD. And finally, go all the way up back to AB at the top, get that length. And go to the other endpoint. Go to the other endpoint down here. Swing that one. So now, length from here, this will be, that'll be AB. The length from that intersection to over here will be CD. And then the length that I did down here at the bottom, and I believe that was orange, and this was EF. Again, it does not matter which piece you start with. It didn't say how they wanted them connected or anything like that. So that's all you got to do. Alright, number 3. It says, that was 3. On 4, which theorem supports the fact that A, B, C, D, and EF can form a triangle? So that is triangle inequality theorem. And the reason why that's true is because any two sides have to be greater than a third side. So if I took the length of AB and the length of CD, which are the two smaller pieces, that length would be bigger than EF. So AB plus CD is greater than EF. And if you wanted to do a construction to prove it, you could. It doesn't ask for it. But, again, since we're doing constructions, actually, let me make this just a little bit longer. Alright, go to AB. There's AB. Mark it off. Go to CD. There it is. Mark that one off. And then EF, and that one, go back to the beginning and mark that one off. The reason why I went back to the beginning is because we're adding together the two smaller ones. So this is AB, this one is CD, and this one is EF. So AB plus CD is greater than EF. Any two sides have to be greater than a third side. So you could use a construction to show how that works. Yeah, you don't have to. Alright, and then the last part, part B. Actually, let me go ahead and put that on here as well. So I'm going to take a picture of this one and post this one. So let me go ahead and post what I just said. Again, it doesn't matter. This was AB. Then we had CD. So this was AB. This was CD. Then if I did EF, mark it off as well. Again, A, B, and C, D greater than E, F. So that's all I'm trying to show. All right, and then on the last one, number 5, it said construct and name an equilateral triangle with side lengths of EF. Again, that's the same one that we had on the other worksheet. So go over to EF. You got that. Now, I'm going to do this one slightly different just because, oh, actually, let's use this one first. I forgot. So there's EF. I got it on this compass. I'm going to do it slightly different. So on number 5, I'm going to go ahead and start with the point. I'm just going to swing a big arc. And again, I'm doing it a little bit different so that I don't have to draw an extra long line. Pick another point on that arc. Connect it. So that's one side. And now from that point, swing another arc. That's your third vertex. And connect those. And that's an equilateral triangle. Do the same one on number 5 over here. So for number 5, we have EF. Let me adjust my compass. I already got EF on there from the last one. I'm going to draw a line. Or sorry, actually, let's do it the same way I did the last one. So I'm going to do it different than on the first sheet. Draw my arc first. Again, pick a point on that arc. So I got 2 vertices. Now from that see, I'm going to swing another arc. So that intersects the first one. Got 3 points. That should be an equilateral triangle. Connect them. And that's it. Alright, hopefully this helps. Again, there's all those online videos as well. So if you didn't like this one, go online, follow those links. There's some other videos that I posted on Friday. They do step-by-step instructions as well.